Welcome to the Reidsville Chamber of Commerce News and Views. I'm your host, Diane Sawyer, President of the Reidsville Chamber of Commerce. Today's guest is Shelby Kline with HealthTeam Advantage. Shelby, welcome to the show.
Thank y'all so much for having me today.
Yeah, we're really excited. You guys have been a great partner for the last several years, and I know that Rockingham County is full of your members. So let's talk a little bit about what you do and what your role is, and then what HealthTeam Advantage is.
Okay. Well, I've been at HealthTeam for about 4 years now, and my title officially is Community Outreach Supervisor. So I get to do a lot of the fun things. We are very involved in our community, mainly in the Triad area is where I'm out and about all the time. And we get to support wonderful organizations like you all, just give back to the community in many different ways by sponsoring events, volunteering with some of our team members. And it's just an array of things that we do when we see a need in an area.
So you guys have been to many of our events. We've had festivals and golf tournaments and all the things, and we're very thankful for that. But it's really cool. You guys are kind of the classic, we scratch your back, you scratch our back. Like, we have members, you have members, and we're trying to together make this a better community, right? And so trying to get the word out, educate, put names and faces and logos and services as a package so that people are aware. And it is one of my favorite things to do is to have folks like you out, because we want people to know about who you are and what you offer. So tell us about what HealthTeam Advantage is, because I think for those who are members, they're like, oh, we know those guys, right? But for the ones who don't know what it is, they're like, what is that? And for those of us who haven't maybe aged into that yet, and we can be thinking about what that looks like, or have elderly or aging parents that we can educate about it.
Mm-hmm. Well, we are a Medicare Advantage plan. And with that, it's a lot of many different things and many different details, and it seems to always be changing from year to year. But we are a supplement to Medicare. And so basically we offer our members, things that are not normally covered under Medicare plans, like medical, dental, vision. We have fitness plans that they can go to, like Silver Sneakers, that are all part of their plan. Again, we do community outreach. We just do a bunch of different things that can help increase their quality of life, in addition, and help financially for things that traditional Medicare does not cover.
So let's break that down, right? Mm-hmm. Let's play Medicare for Dummies, or and so we'll start with that. So what is Medicare for those who maybe don't know or understand how that works?
So it's a medical plan for people that are 65 or older, and they basically, you are qualified automatically when you're a certain age, unless you have a specific condition that, that a chronic condition that would require you to have that before the age of 65. And that covers the basic medical needs. But also with that, you look at the expenses of dental care. We all know that's very expensive. Also prescription drug coverage if you're going to the ER. So a Medicare Advantage plan basically helps with those costs, typically that regular Medicare does not cover. And so, we love being able to offer that to our members, because it does help when you're over the age of 65 or you do have that chronic condition. And that is just a lot of things that you don't think about as you're aging. You assume that Medicare will cover all of those things, but it does not.
So what is the best way for people to, when they think about looking or shopping for the supplemental plan, like what are things they should be looking for?
Well, I will tell you, you have to do your research. Anybody that I come in contact with that, has questions about Medicare Advantage plans, your medical needs change every year, and so do Medicare Advantage plans. So just because one plan was good for you last year, it may not be good for you this year. So we're a creature of habits. So if we've been with someone for a long, long time, we think that's just where we're going to stay at. But if you look at different plans, they always change from year to year. So that is my number one thing, is to research and to really kind of look at all of your plans. Also, if you have a reputable like company that you can actually go talk to in person is a great thing, because, you know, Medicare Advantage plans kind of have a bad name of like, you know, scamming people and things like that. So if you're able to talk to a person in person, that is the best way to do that.
So I'm going to probably bring in a couple of things. And for people who've been watching the show, it comes up occasionally, but sometimes it goes months before it comes up again. But a lot of people know that I was a public health educator before I became the chamber president. And so in my old job in Martinsville, Henry County, we offered silver sneakers. And so it's funny that you bring that up. So Martinsville, Henry County Coalition for Health and Wellness started out as a grant fund. They, you know, originally they wanted to look outside the Harvest Foundation in Martinsville and see a healthier community. And they weren't sure how to start. It started with a 1 year working with children and trying to get their nutrition and their activity up. And then it rolled into a large 5-year grant, $4.5 million, like chronic disease and things like. And so it rolled into having the free clinic, having a FQHC, and open a federally qualified health center. But then we were doing all these programs, right? So I was on the wellness side. And so we wanted to offer things to help make the community healthier. And we were looking at an active aging population, and silver sneakers was one of the things. So tell us how people can find out about silver sneakers, how they can be a part, and what that means when you say that it's a part of the plan.
Well, when you think about wellness, like kind of like what you were just talking about, you think about all aspects of wellness. I feel like a lot of people just think physical wellness, and if you are healthy physically and active, and that is a huge major part of wellness. But silver sneakers, you know, it's a free class designed specifically for seniors or, you know, aging individuals, and they are offered at local YMCAs. They are offered, you know, at just a wide range of places. You can go to the Silver Sneakers website, and they can, you know, give you a list of locations and times and things like that. Also on our website, HealthTeamAdvantage.com, there's a list and resources on there that you can contact through our Healthy Living program. And so that is just one aspect of that. Also on the note, we were just talking about wellness, you know, being socially engaged, being just around other people mentally, having those things and those outlets to do are very important too. One of the other programs that we are offering through my department is we mail out a packet to members and non-members if they sign up, and it's called Boredom Busters. And so, you know, we mail this out once a month, and it is adult coloring sheets, you know, crossword puzzles, paint by numbers. It's just a packet of information that people can do and engage in at home for maybe people that don't get out in the community, and just having something for them to fall back on and to do at home. And so we're really, really proud of that. Again, it's a sign-up sheet on our website that you can register for that, and we will just simply mail you a packet once a month. And we also do include some of the educational opportunities that we sponsor in the area. Could be some of the things that you all are doing, like golf tournaments, you know, different things like that, just to let people know about kind of what's going on in the community. And for those seniors or older adults that are not as tech savvy, or that are as not, you know, don't pay attention to Facebook and social media and things like that.
So speaking of that, how do people find out information if they're not necessarily tech savvy?
Again, we send out member newsletters. We do, you know, Boredom Buster packets. You can also call our 1-800 number is 1-888-965-1965, and that is our general number that you can call, and you will actually speak to a human when you call that number within 20 seconds about anything. And I always tell people that's kind of one of our claim to fames, and the old school customer service model. So you don't have to hit 1 for this or 2 for this or 3 for that. You actually talk to a human within 20 seconds.
That is amazing, because especially for folks now who are using their cell phone or their fancy phone, and they're trying to find the keypad, and they've made the phone call. And so I think that is really important in customer service. And I know that older people struggle and get frustrated pretty quickly sometimes with stuff like that because they want to know how and then they don't know how. So that right there makes you number one in my book. Like, that's amazing.
Yeah. And I would tell you, just being out and about in the community and talking to our members when I'm at events in the community, I always hear that all the time. And we call everyone in our plan is assigned to a concierge. So their person they have a one-on-one person at HealthTeam Advantage that kind of knows about them, that can look them up if they have calls about, a bill or just where the Silver Sneakers classes are located. If they have a question about, a location or an event that they have seen. So they have all of that access. And I hear people tell me all the time, I talk to the girls in the office or, things like that. And it's just amazing. And I'm happy to be able to promote a company that does what they say they're going to do.
So for people so let me throw this out there. People who are, wanting to get ahead of things, right? And so I know that here in Reidsville, we built this very nice what people refer to as a senior center, but it's our care, and you do have to be 55 to participate in their programs and the things that they do, but obviously you don't have to be 65. So what do you say to people who are like, man, I want to be a part of that, and I'm not 65 yet, and I don't have Medicare yet? Like, are there programs and things that they can get involved in before that?
Yes, and we actually do a lot with our care here. Everybody's famous thing is bingo, and we actually have been sponsoring their bingo once a month for the past 3 years. So we are in there. We also did educational programs. We called it Lunch and Learn. We did a series with the Alzheimer's Association where we had about 35 seniors. We did that last spring, where it was just more or less education and learning about, different health topics and things like that. So that is open to everyone. Anything that we do in outreach is not only open to just our members specifically, it's open to the entire community. So, and I love that part of it, because we do get to educate people and let them know and give them information about HTA, but also community members get to learn, just whatever we're doing, or enjoying the fun or enjoying the participation.
Yeah, well, and I think it's so important because as I actually have parents that are hitting those marks, like between me and my husband, all four of our parents are either starting to be semi-retired or counting down to retirement or trying to figure out what their plan is. And those are the kinds of questions, right, that they start having is, well, when am I eligible to draw? What do I have in my own 401k? Or what is the health insurance? What are my benefits? Because that's one of the biggest reasons that people don't want to quit working, is because they need those benefits that they have, and they need that health insurance and that dental insurance. Because, the more brittle their teeth get, or the more things that they have that happen, gum disease, whatever, like you said, those costs are things you don't really account for. And then here they are. And so there's this weird time where people have been working, like, I'll take my dad, for example. He's been working since he was 15 years old. And here he is, he's 61 and he's wanting to retire. And he's like, what do I do? Do I keep working? Like, I'm kind of ready to retire, but then what do I do when I retire? And so, having a friendly face, having an organization who is consistent and well-known and in the community, who's educating people, is just crucial as far as I'm concerned. Because, and for here, I know while we are continuing to do things and trying to encourage the younger population, our active older adults and our older aging population is growing, and it just continues to get larger. And so I think it's important to continue to educate people about what their options are.
Yes. Like I was talking about before, you don't have to be 65 and just start looking then for, into all of this stuff. If you were out and about somewhere and you see someone, or you just want to contact us and, just talk through things and say, when should I start looking at this? And, what is this going to cover with, my retirement or my pension and, things like that. So I feel like it's never, ever too early to start looking into things. And it is deadlines. The government puts deadlines on a lot of things, and you don't want to be last minute rushing to try to figure out a plan plan that works for you, because you want to be able to do that research and just kind of see, okay, what is going to be the best option for me this year with everything that I have going on.
So how do people get plans through you all? Is it something that they need to go through an agent? Can they call? How does that work?
We have a ton of agents or brokers that work for us in the area, and I'm certain that it's a lot of people here in Rockingham County that can do that. So if you have someone that you trust, you can always reach out to them. And, we start educating our brokers for our plan, way in advance, so that they are comfortable and that they're familiar and know exactly what we're going to offer when it's open enrollment time. So, go through them. But we also do have, we call this the Learning Benefit Center. And it's not far of a drive, probably about 20 minutes from here. It's on Samet Drive in High Point. And it's where the Palladium is. And everybody knows where the Texas Roadhouse is, and all of that stuff. It's right on the corner of East Chester and 68. 68 and Wendover. So right there on the corner. We do have a office there, and it is staffed 9 to 4, Monday through Friday. So people can go in at any time and actually talk to someone in person. And I love that. And we just opened that last year, but it's been a huge success for us being able to talk to people, members and non-members that want to come in.
Yeah, that's amazing. And that is a really popular area, so it should be easy to find. So open enrollment starts in October. Is that correct? Yeah. So we have multiple members here, I know, who work through those. So I'm sure some of our insurance folks and some of our brokers here are. A matter of fact, I know at least 2, because we've talked about how they offer it. So definitely, if people are looking to ask questions and they want to reach out to somebody, or they need a broker, they can both. We'll give the information. I know we've already given the phone number and the website for HealthTeam, but also you can always call the chamber and we can refer you if you don't have someone that you trust, and we can give you some of our trusted partners that can help you through that process.
Yeah, and I will give out my email, and I'm sure you already have this at the chamber if someone calls, but my email is skline@htanc.com, and my number is 336-707-6285. If I'm not able to answer the question, I will certainly get the information to one of our employees, and they will be in touch with them.
That's awesome. Thank you for that. Well, what other things about HealthTeam Advantage would you want the community to know that maybe we haven't discussed?
Well, one thing these days, I think it is so important to support local. I know Reidsville Chamber of Commerce, we always want to promote local businesses, and we are only in the state of North Carolina. We are actually in 33 counties, but the Triad area is where the bulk of our members are. We are under the umbrella of Cone Health and Novant, so that is a plus for us as far as, we get lots of questions about whether providers are in our network and, things like that. But being able to support local organizations is key and is so important to a lot of people. So I really think that is one thing that, is kind of a selling point for us, or people really support us because of that, just being local in the area. And as we have mentioned before, customer service and, being able to talk to them, it's being personalized. It's knowing your clients, knowing our members, and knowing kind of what they need. And I think that's so important too.
It is really important. And, being able to be a part of those systems is crucial, because so many people are tied to either Novant or Cone. And I think that having those partnerships and that brand helps explore what their options are. And I think that is helpful. And then, the support local, obviously, we can't say that enough. And I think it's been said, and I say it a lot, like, I feel like my job at the chamber is to educate the community, whether it be business owners, whether it be parents, about what our school systems are offering, or whether it be community members about things like HealthTeam Advantage. And so that is why we do this show and why we have people on that can talk about things. And so I just think there's not enough credit to our organizations who do give back and do support. And we have a lot of nonprofits that do that. We have a lot of businesses that do that, a lot of corporations. But it is important because you never know, right? Like, we support our neighbors, and by doing that, and so you and I were just chatting like before we came on, we have similar interests with our daughters. They play softball, they dance. And, when you give back to people, when you support local, our next door neighbor, she has purchased a building, has got this great boutique, young couple, don't have kids yet. But like, when you go in there and shop with her, you are ensuring that her dreams are surviving, but then she's giving back and she gives back to the community. And so it's a very beautiful cycle of how we're able to support people and support our kids, support our lives, support people's dreams. I love doing this show. I love having Rockingham Update here to do this every month because they have such a large reach, and that's something that Roy built from the ground up. And so like, we support that. It's just this great thing that happens, and I've been a part of it for 15 years now, and it's just amazing. So Shelby, I met you, gosh, I guess probably about the time you came on. It's been almost 4 years. And you just jumped right in, and it's been so refreshing. You and I are quick. We get business done, and it's like, yes, ma'am. And we're back and forth with the emails, but we're so thankful to have you and how you see the picture and see the vision, and just, became right alongside us with that.
Well, we really enjoy being part of the chamber and being a chamber champion. We have for the last 3 years, I believe, and just supporting all of the many things that you do. I knew that when I came into this position, I'd worked in the senior living world for a long time before this, and I knew organizations that I wanted to help, that I knew that made a difference and made an impact in communities all over the Triad. And it's been a blessing for me to be able to help give back and to be able to support those organizations like the Triad Honor Flight, Greensboro Parks and Recreation, our care that's here, just giving them and the members and community members, low or no cost things that they can do that are fun for socialization, and again, all parts of their well-being. So I think that is just so important. And as you mentioned before, our baby boomers are coming, and senior population is growing and growing and growing. So I feel like what we do in the community is going to become more and more important for, the older population in all aspects of our life.
I agree. And, here in Reidsville, one of the things that we're addressing is our housing deficit. We've got such a deficit, not just in Reidsville, but in Rockingham County and even in the Triad and surrounding area. And, one of the things that they're looking at is how do we have more facilities where we can, or how do we have more housing so you've got the things like the landings where, they've got the ability to do both, but you also have developers that are looking and trying to build places where we can have communities and have more people here, because a lot of the people who are from here have to go to Greensboro, or have to go even further than that, honestly, to find what they're looking for, to be active, older adults. And so we're so thankful for our care, because it does make, and them having the day facility and the partnership with ADTS, again, allowing for more flexibility and reaching more people. So the Reidsville, City of Reidsville and the Parks and Rec, I know they do a great job over there with our care.
Yeah, and we enjoy partnering with them. Another thing that we're really going to have to start looking at as a community at whole is aging in place, because, retirement communities are great, but they also, a lot of people cannot financially afford those. So, one thing about supporting the community, you are able to give people resources that they may not know are available. Support groups, education, like the classes, things like that. So we really try to promote that on our website, on our Facebook page, LinkedIn, Instagram, in our member newsletters, and just kind of let them know things that are going on. And again, it's not all wellness activities per se, but it's socialization. It's fun. It's free, low-cost activities that can keep them engaged and active no matter what age they are.
And Brookdale does a phenomenal job with things like that. One of the things they do, and I don't know that you're aware, you may be, but I know that Brookdale does a caregivers thing where they are offering a free service and a free workshop to people so that people can care in place and stay there. So again, like they're just looking to be a resource for people because they know that they can't necessarily financially afford being in a facility or even have family that can actively participate in being a part of that and a part of that care. And so it's a struggle and people are trying to, figure out what do I do? What are the next steps? And the more we can educate people and be a part of that, them knowing ahead of time, because again, research, right? And not being in any of those places when it comes to retirement, when it comes to having a Medicare plan, when it comes to having a supplement plan, when it comes to where are you going to live and what are the plans. And we're going through that as a family, just with my dad and his twin brother and our immediate families. Like, what does that look like? And so, it's just something that has to be discussed as much as people don't want to. So,
Yeah, and we do a lot of workshops with caregivers because some of our members are caring for their aging parents, and knowing kind of what to do, what resources are available. I don't think that I mentioned this before, but it's a wealth of resources in all areas, but it's really about letting people know about those, letting people know about the educations, the meetings, like the Brookdale, like you were just talking about. And we sponsor all of those things because we know how important that is to provide education to people so they are not in panic mode, when it comes time to deal with those kinds of things.
Absolutely. Well, if you can believe it, we are out of time. And so is there anything else you want to share with our viewers before we wrap up?
I just encourage everyone, if you're able to, go to our website, HealthTeamAdvantage.com, and you will be able to see all of the many things that we have to offer. You can research some of our plans. It has some, just a wealth of information on there that can kind of help you navigate through the Medicare Advantage world and just see what we're doing out in the community. And we are so happy to be a chamber champion here, and we really love all the work that you all do. You work tirelessly, and we try to promote everything that you do, and we just really appreciate all that you do for the community.
Well, thank you so much, and thank you for being chamber champion. We couldn't do what we do without folks like you supporting us, and we're really appreciative. So
thank you.
Thanks so much, Shelby. All right, that is it for today's show. As always, you can find us in the heart of downtown Reidsville at 140 South Scale Street, or on our website, reidsvillechamber.org, or on all of our social media channels. So stay tuned and we'll see you soon.